Welcome back to the Pack Chat, our student voice opinion segment. I'm joined today by my co-hosts Victor Martinez and Sam Mack, as well as our guest co-host John Pay, as we discuss this week's most trending topics. We would love to know what your thoughts are on today's topic, so head over to our Instagram at CPHS News. With that being said, let's get started. First, protests are breaking out in Louisville, Kentucky, as the grand jury decided to not charge any of the officers with the killing of Breonna Taylor. One of the officers, Brett Hankinson, was charged with wanton endangerment for firing bullets which landed in 3 neighbors' apartments the night of the shooting. Following a long night in Louisville, 2 police officers were shot. So, what do y'all think about the grand jury's decision, first of all? And then second off, how do you think we're going to see this play out in, the days to come and even weeks maybe?
Honestly, I think when it came down to the trial, they should have took more time on it. I feel like they should definitely have looked better over it because obviously I think that they should have been convicted personally. So I think they could have definitely taken more time in the trial and fight the protests and all that. I don't agree with officers being shot and all that, so I don't think that whole part of it's right. But when it comes to the trial, I feel like they definitely made some mistakes there.
Well, I don't think the trial should have been taking more time. The cops didn't do anything wrong. They were just doing their job. They were trying to catch a criminal inside Breonna Taylor's apartment. They had no knock warrant, but they knocked anyways. So they took special precautions, right? And the criminal fired back at them. So naturally,
John, the criminal was not in Breonna Taylor's apartment. He was in custody. So the criminal they were looking for was not even in the apartment and was already in custody at the time of the shooting.
Also, the police officers weren't in
uniform. Kenneth Walker was not the criminal they were looking for. They were actually looking for Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, who didn't live there anymore. And he was, once again, him and all of his accomplices were in custody at the time of the shooting.
And as well, even if they were looking for a criminal in that apartment, they were not in uniform. So from Kenneth Walker's perspective, he was looking at 3 intruders that were armed coming into his apartment, breaking into his apartment.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it can be concluded that when they did knock, I think, if you look at the timeline of the case and whatnot, I think you can tell based off of the timeline that they were probably dead asleep at the time that the officers did knock and did identify themselves. But Kenneth Walker said that he did, once him and Breonna did wake up and they went into the hallway and they heard the knocking, he asked who's there. And he said that he did not get a reply. And so he went and got their handgun, which I'm sure both of you are pro Second Amendment. And Breonna went and put clothes on she was about to open the door, but they didn't have time to open the door before it was kicked down. And he didn't know who they were. They were in plain clothing. And he swears by the fact that he would not have even gotten the gun in the first place if he knew they were police officers. So you're right, Sam. I think that they could have definitely looked at this case a little closer and, really gotten into it. Obviously, if the police officers were wearing body cameras, we'd know straight up. But, yeah, I think we're definitely going to see this in the news for weeks to come. Next, on September 18th, the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away. Now, with less than 40 days till the election, Republicans are calling on President Trump to appoint a new justice. Back in 2016, with 9 months left of Obama's last term, there was an opening on the Supreme Court. The Senate ruled it would only be fair for the new president to appoint the justice because it was an election year. Now, Republicans are going back on that statement. What do you guys think would be, the fair thing to do here? Do you think that we should hold, Mitch McConnell to his word, or do you think that we should fill that seat?
I think honestly, in 2016, what Mitch McConnell said is that when you, the population of America, the citizens of America should have the opportunity to vote for and have an influence in who sits on the Supreme Court. And being that it is an election year, it should be treated as though that new opening on the Supreme Court is an opening that people get to vote for. They get to elect a president whose views align with theirs and who will select a Supreme Court justice who they think is going to back the Constitution fairly on that panel.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. And I just think, the hypocrisy of them really pulling back on that statement. And in the video, he literally says, "Hold me to my word." And now we are, and it's like they don't even care. And in fact, I mean, if you've read that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she really, really wanted the new president to be able to appoint the member. And I think it is only fair, you know? I mean, it is an election. It's not to say that Trump won't be the one to appoint the new member. We're just asking for it to be after the election, you know?
Exactly.
Is that how you feel too, Sam? Or
I honestly think that's pretty fair. If, like, just to wait for the election then to vote for. So I think that's kind of the right thing to do. Gives everyone, like, it's like a 50-50 chance on who gets elected. So I think that's pretty fair.
Wait, so what are y'all, like, implying that we should do about the new SCOTUS?
like we think that it should be the new president's responsibility to appoint a member since it's so close to the election.
Well, I mean,
because that is what Mitch McConnell made Obama do.
That Trump can win election. So what, do we have 4 more years of vacancy? Because that's very dangerous.
No. It's not whether or not Trump should be the one to appoint him. It's just whether or not, would it be fair for Trump to do it now rather than wait till after the election? Because if, once again, just in Obama's last term, they wouldn't let him appoint a new member 9 months till the election because they said it's not fair to appoint a new justice during the election year when it's a big spot to fill since, you know, it's a lifelong position. So that, I think, is where...
Well, speaking from a partisan point of view, like, just leaving this where it is, leaving it as an even number is a very, like, dangerous thing.
It would only be an even number for 40 days is the thing.
Yeah, but
it's not like we're pushing it off so that way Trump will never be able to appoint a new member. It's just, it wouldn't be fair for him to appoint a new member this close to
in 2016, the vacancy lasted for much
9 months. Yeah, the vacancy in 2016 lasted for 9 months. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't think, you know, they're really looking that much into it.
Well, what RBJ wanted was a new president, as in not Donald Trump.
He did want a new president, but I think that, you know, she also meant that wait till the election.
Yeah.
But finally,
oh, sorry.
Oh, if you, all you.
It'd be very unfair, obviously, to wait until like 4 years after when Donald Trump is no longer president if he were to be reelected. Like, obviously, I don't agree with that. If he is reelected, he should choose the new SCOTUS. But if, like, you know, I just think that it's fair to wait until after the election so that the American people have a say in who's put on the Supreme Court.
For sure. Finally, Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik welcomed their baby girl to the world yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw any TikToks or jokes about this, but, like, obviously Gigi Hadid is beautiful and Zayn Malik is as well. So there's, like, been a lot of jokes, like, circulating about, like, how pretty their baby is, like, going to be. And, like, I saw a TikTok that was like the picture that Zayn posted on Instagram. It's like just him holding like the baby's hands, but like her fingernails are perfect. And I saw a TikTok of some girl and she was like, tell me why those baby's hands are already prettier than me. And I'm agreeing with that. How do y'all feel? Were y'all definitely were not fans of One Direction, were you? No.
I wasn't a huge fan. But I mean, I think everybody knew them. Everybody knew their music. Everybody like kind of was growing up. So it's like it's interesting to see like how like far they've gotten in life, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that like makes 3 of them dads. I don't know if y'all know that. You know, I'm a bit at that rabbit hole, but
I slept on the news. I didn't know this happened. So.
It's okay, John.
I don't listen to pop culture like anymore. So yeah.
Well, that's all we have for today. For today's Pack Chat, thank you for tuning in, and remember, T-Wolf Pack, there's always time to chat.